Candidate Raila Odinga is contesting to become the first citizen for the fourth time. The elections have also attracted some 4,000 election observers, including former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and John Mahama of Ghana, as well as former United States Secretary of State John Kerry. There are fears that violence could erupt, similar to the 2007 polls when over 1,200 people were killed. And excitement is also building up in Kenya ahead of the presidential polls on Tuesday next week. It's a tight race between long-time political enemies, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition candidate Raila Odinga. Some 19.6 million voters are registered for what's being described as the country's most hotly contested elections to date. Political parties are holding their final official campaign rallies today ahead of Tuesday's election. Reports from Kenya say people have been leaving Nairobi ahead of the election, apparently fearing a repeat of the violence that followed the disputed elections in 2007, when 1,200 people were killed. Other residents of the capital have reportedly been stocking up on essentials like food and soaps. And we now take you back to Kenya, where our East Africa correspondent, Sarah Kimani, who is now at the opposition candidate's rally, that's Raila Odinga. Sarah, nice to chat to you once again. What is happening at the opposition final campaign rally at this moment?
Indeed, it's a good afternoon from Nairobi, where indeed we are at Uhuru Park in Nairobi, where former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and his coalition partners are holding their final rally. Now, this is at Uhuru Park grounds. It is on these same grounds that President Uhuru Kenyatta held his campaign rally here yesterday, speaking to hundreds of supporters, telling them that it is time for them to vote for him, to give him a second mandate, indicating that he wants to continue with what he has started in terms of development. Now, as you can see, thousands of supporters are out to speak, to listen to Odinga speak to them. They want to hear what Odinga has to say. In the previous meetings, Odinga has spoken about the high cost of living, corruption, and he has said that he will be fighting those. He has also said that he is going to create jobs. If you look on this side of the park, we have some of the observers, international observers, who have come to listen to what the opposition leader will say. This is because this is a high-stakes election, and there has been fears that there may be violence. Political rhetoric has been going every day, going a notch higher, and people have been worried that depending on what is said, especially at this time, it is possible that the country may slide into chaos. Now, behind me, as you can hear, thousands of opposition supporters cheering Odinga's running mate, Kalonzo Musyoka, who is talking about the death of Chris Msando, a senior elections official who was killed early this last week. We still do not know who killed him. Investigations are underway. We expect that Odinga will be coming onto the podium right now to speak. He is expected to speak about what he terms as failed campaign pledges by the government that has just been campaigning here on Saturday. We expect him to talk about the high cost of living. We expect him to talk about high unemployment levels. We also expect him to talk about corruption. Corruption was one of the campaign pledges by the Jubilee administration, but the opposition party says that the president has failed to fight corruption. We expect that he will be addressing that. This is Nairobi, according to opinion polls, is said to be former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's strongholds. So that is why you see that there are thousands of supporters out here. Uhuru Kenyatta is at this moment speaking in Nakuru in the Rift Valley, one of the strongholds for the Jubilee Party. So it is expected that he will also have such huge crowds. From Nairobi, this is Sarah Kimani. We will be giving you more updates as we receive them.
And many thanks to our East Africa correspondent there, Sarah Kimani. We will, of course, continue to bring you continuous updates from the Kenyan election.